Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This your brother ICR from the GMS Cleveland Church. And I'm back with part two of this lesson. Lord willing, us edify to one of the Lord's elect. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakadash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles, and elders of great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. All right, so we're gonna jump right back into it. As you've seen on part one, this guy was explaining uh, how his state has pretty much rebelled against the money of the so-called JOOs. Okay, they're revolting, if you might say, against those people. All right, and this is, he's overwhelmed. I went into that word overwhelmed. Okay, and pretty much a state of joy because he thinks change is going to happen for the better, but really it's for the worse, man. All right, because these small hats, man, they're they're they control America, man. All right, they control the United States of America, which is Babylon the Great, man. Okay, and America controls the rest of the world, if you might say, through military force. Okay, using the NATO and the EU, but specifically United States of America, Washington D.C. is where the commands go out, and they you know, you got the CIA, the Langley building. Okay, you have all all these uh alphabet enforcement. Okay, these alphabet boys, they're bought and paid for by the small hats, man. Like the apostles used to say, and they always bring it out. When you ride down the freeway and you see that shield, that's who owns that shield. Okay, the small hats, man, dealing with the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, man. You see, they control everything here in the United States of America. All right, and they don't like when people don't bow down to them, man, or rebel against them. They don't like it, and you're going to see more chaos in this place as this world spirals out of control.
Yeah, it
All right,
it
so let's
was
get back to it.
overwhelmingly rejected, which is just absolutely an incredible turn of events here. We did an interview. I did an interview with Brian Lenny a little bit ago, but unfortunately my microphone wasn't working, so I had to re-record this video. But yeah, man, unbelievable. Nobody saw that coming. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that we would be seeing yet another pro-Israel resolution, and it hasn't. And so this is what happens when you work together, you don't burn your bridges, and you're persistent. You've got to be persistent at this. We've been trying, at least I have, for the past 6 years to get this stuff out of the Idaho Republican resolutions, the platform, and all of that. And so a lot of hard work has finally paid off, thanks to Senator Brian Lenny and all of the young delegates here in Meridian, Idaho. So the session is not over yet. We still have to vote on party leadership, which the delegates will be picking up after lunch. But this is a real revolution, I think, because even 6 months ago, the idea that the Idaho GOP would not pass a resolution supporting Israel, this is just unheard of. So the Israel lobby has been blown out. They are no longer in charge of the Idaho Republican Party. And so let's see what happens going forward. This could really piss off the Israel lobby. Well,
Yes, it's it's going to piss off the Israeli.
And it is. You see, it's the guy named ex-CIA agent. His name is you can look him up, John Kiriakou with a K. You can look him up. He explained how the small hats, the JOOs, those people over there in the land of Israel, right? He was explaining how they don't, when they want somebody, they're gonna get them, okay, and they're not just gonna walk up and assassinate them. No, they're gonna bomb the whole block. You see what I'm saying? That's how these small hats get down, man. They're gonna bomb the whole block. You see, just for one person, you know. And you see that taking place over there in the so-called Middle East, okay? With the Gaza Strip, all of that, how they're murdering innocent, so-called innocent people. You see, and America is backing that. But you have senators and politicians here that's not with that. They're against it. This is why Esau's house is divided and it's not going to stand. Because why? They're not on one accord. Okay. We know that if you're not on one accord in according to the scriptures, what guess what? You're gonna fall. You see, and Esau's fall is happening real quick, man. You see, Yahweh Shah said, "Behold, beheld Satan fall as lightning upon earth." Man, I mean, his fall. Who was Satan? Esau. Okay, the so-called white man. His empire is falling fast, man, quickly, man. All right, so I'm gonna speed this up. All right.
I would say that is a foregone conclusion, my guy. Yes. But what do you make of that, Kyle? I mean, that's a pretty
Yeah,
significant shift.
yeah, no, I think it's absolutely huge. And just to add to your initial point there about the role that social media played, especially uh, exposing Israel's crimes in Gaza back in 2012, in the very early days of Twitter, I was on there and I saw the Palestinian so-called rocket attacks on Israel looked like the same science fair projects I was doing with my dad. You know, the little rockets that you go shoot, they parachute down. These things are so small, and Israel's dropping 500, 1,000-pound bombs, destroying entire apartment buildings. And he realized that the Palestinians don't actually present that much of a threat to the Israelis. That
No.
it's not about stopping the Palestinian threat, just like the Israelis sitting on the hill kind of proved that, right? Like, if the reason you got to kill all the Palestinians is they're just so dangerous, you probably wouldn't be sitting in direct line of sight of all of them who are actively fighting a war, or what you say, fighting a war against Israelis.
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't make any sense. So the other interesting part of this is, he's talking about this wouldn't have happened 6 months ago. So really, I think the shift among Republicans wasn't the moral atrocities in Gaza, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But at least they have finally woken up to the fact that Israel is not our friend, that Israel's goals are not America's goals, that whatever benefits Israel doesn't necessarily benefit the United States of America, and are now interested in drawing a clear dividing barrier between the United States of America and
Yeah, he said a dividing
are now
barrier
interested in
between
drawing a
who?
clear dividing barrier
Hold on.
between the United States of America and Israel. And
And Israel's only ally is the United States of America, man. Okay, no other country on the planet Earth has a liking towards these people, man. Not even uh the NATO and EU countries, the European countries, man. They don't even like these people over there, man, because they know they're unruly. You see, they're just like these American Edomites, man. All right, they're very proud, very arrogant. You see, they truly believe that the world is theirs, man, and they're gonna rule forever, just like these Americans, man. You see, but all Edomites, they think like that. You see, even though the European nations, uh, uh, you can kind of say they're more relaxed than the American Edomites and the Edomites in Israel, but nevertheless, they're Edomites, man. But you see, America, okay, it's slowly but surely turning against these people, man, these small hats. All
in a
right,
way, I like that
so let's
more
keep
because it
playing.
is just America first. It's about carrying what happens most in your country. I don't necessarily think it's the goal of the American government or American civilians at that to go around the world and try to find every atrocity and human rights violation going on and put an end to it. But we absolutely should be opposed to our government aiding any kind of atrocity or human rights violation. But if we're at least going to stop that, supporting that same government over that government's getting us into wars that don't benefit us, we're moving in the right direction on this for a change.
Yeah. Listen, at this point, I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it's because people don't want to pay for it. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I just want it to stop. Like, I just want it to stop. So I welcome this with open arms. And he's right, though. This is going to piss off the Israeli lobby. But I think that we're going to see this cascading across the country. This has been kind of a thing that we've seen it. Like, it's been happening over the course of the past several years. We've seen it building. We've seen the momentum building. We've seen the way that support. I mean, if you just look at the polling, which, listen, polling you got to take with a grain of salt and all of those things. But I mean, I think that we have all recognized there's been a significant shift in not just the support, but the actual awareness. I think that so many people prior to October 7th just believed whatever the preconceived stories that they were told about Israel. Israel's an ally, like that's our ally, and that we never. I think most people, like general population, the Gen Pop United States, I don't think anybody ever really gave it a second thought. Nobody really found that there was reason to, and I think that now people have really. When a genocide is being live streamed to your device every day and you have to watch that on a daily basis and you see the videos and the pictures, it becomes impossible to ignore. And I think that that's people, once you start questioning, once that first question is asked, it becomes like a waterfall and you just start picking away. And I think that that's
You see, Esau, all right, is they're pretty much trying to seek, mercy for the crimes that they've done to humanity, man. You see, you question these Edomites here, about how America was established. They, most likely they're going to say, well, that was, hundreds of years ago, get over it, this and that, blah, 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 you know, you know, but, and then they want to put down Israel for what they doing. All you Edomites, you do the same thing, man. You all do the same thing. Okay, the scriptures say, uh, 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 in the book of Isaiah, well, Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. Well, I'm going to start at verse 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, all right, Altashith, Miktam of David. It says, do you indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Right, sons of men is who? The heathen. Okay. It says, yeah, and heart, meaning mind, ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth, man. So this is what Esau does, man. In the NLT it says, no, you plot injustice in your hearts. You spread violence throughout the land. And that's what all Edomites do, man. Okay. These American Edomites are trying to put down the Edomites over in the land of Israel, but you all have done the same thing, man. Literally have done the same thing. Look how Israel was established. Look how America was established. You see? By rape, rob, and murder. You see? So the scriptures talk about pull a beam out of your own eye. You Americans are hypocrites, man. You see? If you wanted Israel to do the right thing, you should show them how to do the right thing, which was to pay reparations, man. And what do I mean by reparations? It's not in the form of money. You see, we know that reparations means to repair or return to its first estate, and the true reparation is going to come in the form of slavery for all the nations. But you would show Israel how to how to pretty much repent, but there is no repentance for Esau. We know that. So it says, verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth their ear. Right. So that's Esau to a T, man. They are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, man. All Edomites speak lies, man. Like the brother Rayab said, if he tell you something, take it with a grain of salt and do the complete opposite of what this devil is telling you to do. It says their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are as the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. Right. You can't tell Esau shit, man. You see? You can't. All right. You try to tell them the truth, and guess what? It says in verse 5, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never saw wisely. And that's talking about the elect, man. Okay, the elect is out here teaching the truth. And guess what Esau does? He completely ignores it. Okay, he makes up laws to combat the scriptures coming out. All right. So let's keep playing on this video. Play a couple more minutes and then I'm gonna close out.
Really what we've
You
seen
might
is
get
that
some
people have just
responses
continually been
too.
asking more and more questions and educating themselves about what actually is happening there. So this is another piece of it. Scholars John Mearsheimer and Trita Parsi argue that U.S.-Iran deal marks a rare rupture between Washington and the Israel lobby. One Trump advance could turn into broad public support. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm incredibly skeptical of this whole supposed shift that Trump and Vance are taking on Israel. I feel like it is politically opportunistic. I don't know that I buy it at all. However, again, I'll take it if we can use it to turn support away from Israel. So let's just take a listen to this real quick and what they have to say.
Very important point that we want to keep in mind has to do with the difference between the Israel lobbies and Israel's effect on the public discourse in the United States and the effect of the lobby at the level of policy. And I think, as we've talked about on this show before, there's no question that Israel and the lobby have really lost the game when it comes to the public discourse. Criticism of Israel inside of the United States is widespread. It's been at the policy level where the lobby and Israel itself have continued to be so successful. So what you see happening here is a huge crack at the policy level. It's the first time we've seen that. But what that tells you is that if Trump and Vance are smart and they appeal in a sophisticated way to the public, they will be able to generate significant public support for the policies that they're pursuing that the Israelis and the lobby don't like. It's not like Trump and Vance will be putting forth a policy or a strategy for dealing with Israel that's not going to resonate with the public at large. All sorts of people in the public are going to understand exactly what's going on here. And again, if Trump and Vance are smart, they will generate, I think, significant public support inside the United States for what they're doing.
Are you both underestimating the power of the US Congress? Now, on this program just a few days ago, I spoke with Professor Fawid Azadi. He's from the University of Tehran. And he reminded our listeners of a quote from Pat Buchanan in 1990 that, quote, Congress is Israeli occupied territory. Now, the administration, you might be right about Trump and Vance. They might be going to great lengths to change things when it comes to America's relationship with Israel. They might be willing to unfreeze Iranian assets. But Trita, to what extent will Congress play a role here in stymieing the administration? I mean, Congress may ultimately frustrate any lasting settlement when it comes to sanctions relief, correct? Trita?
Yes and no. I think it's important to remember the vast majority of primary sanctions that are imposed on Iran by the United States are done so through executive orders, which means that the president can actually lift them with a stroke of a pen. He does not need to go through Congress.
Right.
A very large set of secondary sanctions are passed by Congress. Those he can only waive, or he would have to ask them to lift them. And that's going to be a Herculean task. But we should also remember he did manage to lift the Caesar Act, the sanctions on Syria, through Congress. And it was actually quite an achievement, I have to say, because Congress usually never lifts sanctions. Obama didn't even try to lift the embargo on Cuba. He just lifted some of the executive orders. The embargo was untouched because he didn't even want to take the fight in Congress on that issue. So I think there's a significant
No, I'm not going. Let's check out some of these comments, man. Let's see what the people say. It says being against Israel is pro-humanity. All right, so let's check more. See what it says. I like nations too, but I don't want to see the end of the world. Just gonna get wrong. It truly is. Totally agree. 100. It's a win for America first. Good politics in Idaho. How much do you get paid by Iran? So why are you still using their money and their technology? See, people are idiots, man. This place is divided. And Yahweh said he was going to send division. All right, let's hear that real quick in the book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? Right. Because when he returns, it's not going to be a peaceful sight. Okay. Peace is not going to come until Israel is in the kingdom. Okay. So it says, suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth? Right. I tell you nay, but rather division. Right. So this place is divided. Okay. It says we're 80 years late, but it's about time. Salakia. It says nobody with dual citizenship. Salakia. Nobody with dual citizenship shall hold any office in America. This is great news. Free the USA, USS Liberty. You got people. People are out here pretty much waking up to the bullshit that's going on with these politicians and their backing of Israel, man. You know, and you had this dude on the internet. This is a video. Um, I'm gonna repost it, but he said um too many people are waking up. You see, um, they're finding out the truth. They're finding out the truth about these small hats, right? Through the internet, and and they have they're gonna track tag and ID everybody who's pretty much against them. Okay. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna come and grab you up, man. You see, and the time is coming, man. The Esau, is being exposed, man. Specifically, the tribe of Amalek. The guy said, back in the what was the 60s and 70s, Ishmaelite, uh, Gabal Dul Nassar, if I'm butchering his name, Salakia, but he said the Jews left black, okay, and came back white. You see, so he knows that those people over there in that land, those aren't the true people of the Holy Bible, man. Those aren't the true people of the Heavenly Father, man. The true people are here in the United States of America, okay, South America, as well as scattered amongst the four corners of the planet Earth. But the majority of the elect are here in the United States of America pushing this truth, man. Warning you people that these are not the people. Okay, they're really Edomites, okay, of the tribe, the Amalek of the nation of Esau, Edom, okay, and what they're doing is deceiving the nations, man. All right, and he's going to continue to do so until the Lord comes back and takes him out. But America, okay, will still be with Israel, ally with Israel until these two countries are destroyed, man. And I'm gonna close out with that. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49. And I'm gonna start at um I think it's we're gonna draw out the Jeremiah 49, and I'm gonna start at 20, right? Because when you read Jeremiah 49, 50 and 51, I think this is mentioned also in chapter 50, verse 20. It's talking about the United States of America, okay? Because this is I'm just reading. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai that he have taken against Edom, which is the whole nation. Okay. So listen to this, man. Hear this. And his purposes that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Timan, which are the Germanites, but not Germanites, but the Germans, so-called German, which are the wise men. Okay. And the wise man would be the rich international banking families, man. Okay. Those are the wise men. Those are the ones that set up all these secret councils and set up these governments and control the governments. Okay. This is his purpose. Okay. Against the inhabitants of Timan. Surely the least of the flock, which is Amalek, right? They're the smallest nation, smallest tribe out of Esau, Edom. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who? Draw who out? The United States of America, man. Right? Because they're once again, like I mentioned, just the only ally that Israel has, man. Israel cannot depend on anybody else. All right. And it knows that. And they know that America, okay, was the most powerful country on the planet Earth, man. It had the most weapons. Okay, it was unstoppable. Now you got nations rising up against them, according to Joel the third chapter, man. Okay, wake up the mighty man. Okay, turn your plowshares into swords and your hooks into spears. Your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, "I am strong." Roughly paraphrasing. You see, so America is it doesn't hold power like it did back. decades ago. All right. Russia has surpassed them in weaponry. Okay, dealing with the missiles. Okay, China has surpassed them in pretty much technology. America is through, man. Okay, it has lost its soft power. Now it has to revert to its hard power, which is force. So it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Right, because America is trying to make peace agreements with Iran, and Israel is against that. So with that being said, if America makes a peace agreement with Israel, with Iran, right? If America makes a peace agreement with Iran, Israel's still going to bomb them, and that's going to make America be drawn out, okay, because of the acts of these Amalekites, man. It says, surely he shall make their habitations desolate with him, because both of these habitations, the United States of America and the land of Israel, are going to become desolate. But the thing about Israel is going to be built back up because that's going to be the headquarters, and that was the land that was blessed to our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But America is going to be completely desolate. Okay, no, this land is going to be uninhabitable. Okay, non-inhabitable, man. Okay, because of the actions that it has done upon the planet Earth, and specifically towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Okay. So yeah, you politicians, you might rise up against these people over there, those small hats. But at the end of the day, your kingdom is coming to an end, man. Okay, it's a little bit too late, all right, for you to be revolting against these people, man. All right, this place is through. So I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect.